Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to be addressing you via video. Unfortunately, it has not been possible to find the right flight combinations for me to visit the beautiful Abuja. I would like to start by congratulating Nigeria and particularly President Buhari for being the deserved winner of this award for all the work that has been done on infrastructure. We are all Africans proud to see how much Nigeria has invested on infrastructure, particularly transport infrastructure over the last few years, including in railways and roads, also in other infrastructure like ports and airports. I would like also to take this opportunity to congratulate Barthelemy Kwame for all that he has done to raise the flag of infrastructure as a priority for development in Africa, and also for attributing to President Babacar NDIAYE, our mentor. Unfortunately has disappeared quite soon for our wish to have him still contribute to all that we need in terms of development, but remains an inspiration. And it is really befitting for us to be dedicating each time that we discuss this kind of issues and challenges to his memory and to his contribution. We have this year a very deserved theme, how roads can contribute to development. And I know that we are aware of the fact that Africa has been investing quite significant amounts of money on road building and road infrastructure improvements. It has been quite rewarding to see that in the last decade we have invested more than in the previous 3 decades. And this has translated into improvements for trade, making sure that the collateral positive effects in the economy allow for the establishment of new value chains, that we are going to be also able to basically improve and accelerate our industrialization drive, and also to facilitate communications between citizens when we are all applauding the establishment of the Continental Free Trade Area that is going to increase mobility of Africans across borders, and with that we certainly have a brighter future, since we know that Africa continues to be the continent lagging into the indicators that relates to mobility and to communications. But transports are more than just mobility. They are about creating opportunities also for us to invest in the future, because now we can do all this infrastructure with sustainable materials, also with sustainable ways of exploring them, like for instance the establishment of public-private partnerships that would allow for most roads to be built with arrangements and packages of financing that are very innovative, and also to be explored in terms of how the return can be recouped with arrangements that will allow for more roads to be built. We continue to have a need that is very difficult to meet. Our demands are huge. Our deficit has accumulated over many, many decades. So we will have to keep improving how we make sure that infrastructure becomes central. And together with infrastructure of transport, we have also the challenge of infrastructure on energy, being again the continent with the least number of coverage per square kilometer and number of people with access to electricity. When we look into what has been done on the digital front and how Africans have been able to innovate so much, we can believe that leapfrogging is possible, that it is also a demonstration that the consumer market that Africa is becoming is very attractive and cannot be ignored, because its youth population and the large workforce that will take over China and India soon make Africa really a place that nobody can really afford to be completely absent. And within that Africa, Nigeria plays a very critical role, not only because it's the largest economy, but also because it has the largest population. We know that so far a lot of the improvements that we have seen in economic growth have been attributable to the large number of consumers enter the market, and as they enter the market, we have consumer market that grows. But this is a very artificial way of looking into what has been happening, in the sense that people are not improving their lives necessarily. So we need to have qualitative growth, and that qualitative growth is impossible without structural transformation, which in turn requires that infrastructure becomes much more central. Together with solid institutions and human capital improvements, these are the ingredients that will make reforms possible, transformation possible, and create the ground for industrialization to take place. Some will say industrialization is coming too late now that automation and artificial intelligence and other technological developments like robotization are replacing the need for the traditional workforce. Nothing can be further from the truth. As we have seen just during the pandemic, it is still possible to count on improvements in productivity related to tech advances, but the workforce is still very much a driver and will continue to be so. We should not have this myth that technology erases jobs. It changes them, and it changes the future of work, but not necessarily eliminate the possibilities for human beings to have other types of occupations. And being the continent with the youngest population, we should master the impact and the consequences of these changes, because we will be the first to witness some of the effects in the younger population, because we have the largest one. I think our youth is ready for the challenge. They have more hope in the future than countries where the population is aging, despite the fact that they have mature economies and have benefited from a socio-economic standing and lifestyles that are inviolable. But they have fear for the future because of the aging demographic component of their setup. And I think Africans should take advantage of this window of opportunity as we transition in terms of energy, we transition in terms of how we deal with climate dimensions. We have incredible opportunities, and youth is going to be an asset, and we should transform it into an asset with investments. And one of these investments, of course, is in their education. So we have improvements in human capital, in their health. So they live lives that are much more capable of living them with opportunities. But we have also to take into account that all of this requires that we invest on infrastructure. And within that infrastructure, roads become central together with energy. So that's why the theme of this year is so important. So as the president of the Bureau, I really would like to congratulate all that are participating in this event. Wish you well, wish you great deliberations, and once again apologize for not being in person participating in such an important event. And the reasons are beyond my control, but I'm with you in spirit, and this is the reason why I believe that whatever you decide is going to be fundamental in terms of a marker for the future on how we discuss infrastructure.